Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome to Robotics Notes Elite. This is actually, I think, the first science adventure title that I'm coming across here, mainline title, where I am actually completely blind. For the Chaos Head, Chaos Child, I kinda, watched the horrible Chaos Head anime years ago, so I had an idea about the delusions, about the D-swords. In Steins Gate, I watched the actually much better anime compared to the Chaos Head one, which got me into the science adventure visual novels in the first place. And so I had a pretty good idea going into those titles because of the time machine and all of that, the divergences and what have you from the anime. So here with Robotics Notes, I have absolutely no idea what to expect. And that's all I really have to say. I actually I don't know what to expect. This is just another title that I feel like I should most definitely jump into before the very hyped Anonymous Code comes out in September of 2023. So I want to better prepare myself, at least get this title out of the way. And, I'm excited because there is that huge unknown aspect that, again, I just didn't really get out of the Steins Gate visual novels and the Chaos ones. So I think this will be good, hopefully. It's very similar to Chaos Head. There's a lot of mixed feelings, so fingers crossed that this is a good time for both me and for all of you watching. Hopefully this is a fun ride. But before we get into it, there's a couple people that I would like to thank. First up is Overcodex, a very long time patron, I think also YouTube member and Discord server booster. He's trying to support me in every way he can. Yeah, he also bought this game for me, so thank you to Overcodex for getting this for me like almost a year ago, it feels like. You really got this for me way in advance. So thank you very much for that. And another thanks to my good friend Mari, who did another commission for me here for the little thumbnail character that will pop up for every episode. She did the one for my Amori playthrough, and most recently my Chaos Head Noah playthrough. So thank you again, Mari. There is a link in the description below if you'd like to check out her other work. And without further ado, I think we can jump in. I think we're good to go here. Ooh. All right, we're really jumping in quick here. Also, Okay, hold up. Before we really jump into it here, I based my sound settings off of the Chaos Head Noah settings that I put up, so they may not be accurate because I really question the game engine that Mages uses for these, and yeah, I don't know. I'll probably be making some tweaks, but okay. Carry on. My man.
これは所詮自分の中の衝動を満たすためのもの。最強のライバルとこのシチュエーションで戦えるなんてゾクゾクするじゃないか。もっとゆっくり。それが不謹慎だと言われようと構わない。綺麗事じゃないんだ。興味があるのはただ全国ランキング1位のやつを倒してその頂点全員一になることだけ。その先にあるもの。
Yeah, that's fair.
その先なんて何もない。何もないんだ。それでも、いや、だからこそ求めるんだよ。だって俺は英雄でもなく、軍人でもなく、ロボットアニメの主人公でもなく。
Aw, man, for real? You know what, guys? I lied. I do think that there's mechs in this, so maybe I'm not totally blind coming into this. That's all I know. Also, I think I can... Ooh. I think I can actually bump up the volume on a little bit of everything. Maybe a wee bit. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to play around with it. We'll make it work.
マイクテスト。カイ、なんか喋って。
おじゃりもんせ、ノッチーよ。
感度良好。
Ooh, I already got a Steam achievement. We're really making progress.
全員一言ずつ。
テステス。
すごい一体感を感じる。風、なんだろう、吹いてきてる。確実に。
Man, this is like in Sly 3 in the very beginning where you get to hear everybody's voices before you actually get to meet them.
はい、オッケー。カイ、ポケコンは有線になってる？赤いケーブル。
ドックに接続済みだよ。ていうか、なんで赤なの？アキちゃんの趣味。
通常の3倍で動ける気になるでしょ？
Just like pressing a button harder on a controller makes you go faster or you're stronger or whatever. Also, this is, as far as I can tell, the only other thing I truly know about Elite, at least, is, yeah, they use 3D models in this? Do they actually use 3D models in this visual novel? They don't use sprites at all?
うちの顔、見えてる？
バッチリと。
各サーボ、ホームポジションの誤差は 1% 以下。
送電システム、正常だよ。発電機は13時間は連続で使えるって。
それだけあれば十分。
各種アクチュエーター、すべて正常。ジャイロセンサー、オートバランサー、異常なし。チェック9番から16番までは飛ばし。
おいおい、大丈夫？
見くびらないでもらえますか？僕を誰だと思ってるんです？
I don't know.
ああ、悪かったよ、後輩。
はい、次 DG297 起動。
All right. I really don't know what to say here. I'm just kind of anticipating something going wrong.
レーザースキャナー、左右ともに異常なし。
周辺マップ、ロード開始。3メートル、5メートル、7メートル、10メートル、15メートル、20メートル。範囲最大。
She kind of got a little bit ahead there, but you know what? It's okay.
地形判断用 AI 正常。大丈夫だ。問題ない。カメラテストどうぞ。
360度カメラテスト。カイ、ちゃんとシートベルトは締めてる？
もちろん。シート固定解除。くるくる回ればいいんだよね。
Ooh. This ain't no ordinary visual
カメラ
novel.
連動確認。目が回る。
こっちもモニタで確認しました。座標固定スタンバイ。OK？
ちょい待ち。調整完了。いいよ。
座標固定来たこれ。
その変な言葉遣い、いい加減やめてくれないか。
だが断る。
Well, we're getting some very familiar terminologies here.
よし、チェックは以上。
I guess we are playing the right game.
2020年2月28日の天気予報をお伝えします。
2020. You know, the other day, I was trying to figure out where everything takes place, or where all these different titles take place, and then I got very confused. But this is either before or after Chaos Child. That's all I know. I know for a fact it's after Chaos Head and Steins Gate 0, but no idea where this is at. But it's somewhere around Chaos Child.
鹿児島県種子島屋久島地方は北東の風のち南の風やや強く晴れでしょう。波の高さ 1.5 メートル、最高気温14度、最低気温10度、降水確率は 10% となっています。天気予報でした。
貴重な情報どうも。
はい。これで ロボ部員全員集合したね。できれば歩行テストをしたかったところなんだけど、そんな暇はないからぶっつけ本番だよ。いける？
最初から分かってたことでしょ。今さらノーゴーだなんて言わないでよ。
コンディションオールグリーン。最終判断はゴー。カイ、必ず戻ってこようね。
Now, I don't know about that one.
さあ、ここからは俺のゲームだ。だって俺は英雄でもなく軍人でもなくロボットアニメの主人公でもなく格闘ゲーマーなんだから。頑張れる発進。
I don't know, sounds a little mecha to me. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is the, wait, is this the third entry in the mainline titles? I do know that there was an original Robotics Notes. That was really freaky. I got a message on my watch as soon as that popped up. Okay, wait. Okay, I wasn't doing anything. I guess that's just their little, like, date set thing. And that said 2019. So that was in the future. We got a little bit of a glimpse of what's to come, right? That did say 2019, right? Oh, and neat. We actually get like a little name thing here on the left. That's something I really, really wish Chaos Head Noah had. Checking voice recognition, please say something. Is it now?
中央種子島高校普通科3年2組出席番号26番成績は中の下部活はロボット研究部に所属してますよ一応ね。ロボットのことは詳しくなかったりするけども得意分野は何を隠そうゲームだったりしちゃったりしてってあれ
The post-update messages have already disappeared from the screen. I guess I spent too much time yammering. I let out a small sigh and leave the dimly lit robotics research club room. Yeah, it is, alright, yeah, cool. 2019, we get a little bit of a date. Very Steins Gate-esque. I really do enjoy visual novels that tell you what the fuck day it is, because as time moves forward, sometimes they skip multiple days. Man, I can't keep up. A refreshing early summer breeze blows by. It's like night and day compared to that hot, cramped room. The moment I step outside, I stop sweating. With the cool breeze washing over my entire body, I take a look at the surrounding scenery with my Pokécom. We usually see a bunch of typhoons around this time of year, but today seems like a nice day. The endless blue sky stretches far and wide. It's already turning the color of summer. This place is about 40 kilometers south of the Osumi Peninsula in Kagoshima. I live here on... Oh, God damn it. I'm trying. Just I want you guys all to know, I suck at pronouncing things in English, so what do you think it's going to sound like whenever I try to pronounce things in Japanese? Tanegashima? We're going to roll with it. Right next to the Yakushima, famous for being a World Heritage Site. But to be honest, this island isn't really noteworthy outside of our matchlock rifles and the rocket launch site. Chuo Tanegashima High is right at the center of the island. It's one of the only two high schools in the area, actually. Over 10 years ago, there was an anime set here that got popular, but other than that, our school's nothing to write home about.
じゃあまあアップデートしたことだしちょっと試してみますかね。
It's then that I hear a voice in the distance calling for me by my nickname. There are only a handful of people who call me that. Looks like our beloved club president has returned.
ちょうどいいや。ポケコンで気になるあの子をロックオンしてみるかな。
Yep, there we go. 3D in a 2D environment. We're also getting tips. I did not realize we are getting a shit ton of tips. Why are we getting so many tips all of a sudden? Senomiya Akiho shows up at just the right moment, so I capture her within the screen of my Pokecom. She's in the same grade as me, and we've been inseparable ever since we were kids. We go by the nicknames Kai and Aki-chan.
あ、またゲームして遊んでる。
ゲームじゃないって。イルオがアップデートしたんでね、それを試してるんだ。アキちゃん、猫耳つけてあげるよ。
I boot up cat ear mode from among the app icons in... So, do you actually just pronounce it? Iro? Iruo?
にゃんにゃん。
Oh, what the fuck? This thing is pretty awesome. I disagree. This is really weird. Not only does it add cat ears to her head, but it also gives her a maid outfit.
カイはのんきだな。
Kai is me, of course, short for Kaito. Akiho, excuse me, lets out a sigh and takes a sip from the bottle in her hand.
こういうピンチな時は力を合わせて頑張らなきゃいけないっていうのに。
ピンチなの？
ピンチだよ。この状況を見ればわかるよね。
It's weird because the voices were plenty loud whenever we were like in that little prologue section, but now they're like quieter again. I don't know why. I guess I probably should have experimented a little bit more with the sound before we started recording. I guess I'll turn it up a little bit more. I'm a little worried for like the music, to be honest. Akiho points toward the Robotics Club room. The club room sits next to the soccer club equipment storehouse. Something tells me that this tiny shed of ours was never meant to be used as an actual club room. Our space has 2 rooms, but one is used for storage, so the only one that can fit actual people is the left room. That said, it's way too cramped with 2 people inside. Try and relax there, I dare you. Even worse, we only have a single lamp. And there's no AC. It's too cold in the winter and too hot every other season. If hard times refers to being forced to spend time in the club room, then I totally get why Akiho would say that.
ま、でも芝生は意外と気持ちいいよ。
On days when it's not raining anyway.
そういう問題じゃなくて。
Cat Akiho heads dejectedly into the club room after hearing my response. She sits on one of the only 2 stools in the room and takes another sip of her soda. What's the soda in this one? What was it in Chaos Child? I think Mountain Dew. Cola and Chaos Head. Shoot, Dr. Pepper and Steins Gate, right? Of course, yeah, of course. Dr. Pepper's the very iconic one. So what is it in this one? I mean, there has to be a soda, right? As I enter, sweat beads form on my forehead. Summer's only just started. Thinking of what it will be like in here when it really gets going horrifies me.
今日も教頭先生のところに行ってきたの？
行ってきたけど、会議中でまた会えなかった。教頭先生忙しすぎだよ。
Are you sure she isn't just avoiding you? As soon as the school year started, the Robotics Club had its budget annihilated. As the president, Akiho's been doggedly negotiating for club funds, but I can tell they aren't taking her seriously. That said, the fault probably lies in Akiho for demanding an absurd 10-fold increase last year.
部長さんはいろいろ考えなくちゃならんことが多くて大変だね。
大変だけど、充実はしてるよ。
Akiho smiles grimly and thrusts her fist into the air. Meow. Yeah, lovely.
焦りもあるけどね。
えらいえらい。
カイはまるで人事だね。ロボ部はもううちとカイの2人しかいないんだよ。少しはそれを自覚してほしいんだけどな。
The Chuo Tanegashima High Robotics Research Club, also known as the Robotics Club. Its history goes 9 years back. It all started with a girl named Senomiya Misaki, a first-year student at the time. Yep, that's right, she's the older sister of the girl pouting in front of me right now. I call her Misane. She founded the Robotics Research Association, and a year later, it officially became a club in recognition of its achievements. In its golden days, it had nearly 20 members. It even won Robo 1 8 years ago, which is a hobby robot tournament held in Tokyo. Okay, tips. Tips are important. We should probably look at some of these, because we, for some reason, unlocked a whole bunch of them. So, hobby robot. It is a type of robot approximately 30 centimeters in height that began production in the 2000s. The term mainly refers to autonomous or remotely operated bipedal robots. They were first sold in inexpensive do-it-yourself models, and due to the computers becoming widespread around the same time, it made it much easier to program their movements. The robots gradually spread to the general public over time, but their popularity exploded in the latter half of the 2010s. I think that's... okay, you know what? We'll go through all the tips here. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Matchlock gun. A gun which is loaded by filling the muzzle with a bullet and gunpowder. Okay, I get it. So, Yakushima, an island located in southern Kagoshima Prefecture, about 60 kilometers south of the Osumi Peninsula and 20 kilometers west of Tanegashima. It has an area of about 504 square kilometers, and the climate is subtropical, with an average temperature of 19 degrees Celsius throughout the year. World Heritage Site, a cultural, natural, or mixed heritage location registered under the guidelines of the Convention Concerning the Protection of the World Cultural and Natural Heritage, is defined by UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Jesus Christ. Osumi Peninsula, a peninsula located in Kagoshima Prefecture just south of Kyushu. Tanegashima, island located about... okay, we already know about that one. Pokecom, fictional, a tablet-style mobile device with a 7-inch high-definition screen. Its official name is PhoneDroid, but it's known colloquially in Japan as Pokecom, despite having nothing to do with the pocket computer that was released in the 1980s. Beginning in 2012, the Pokecom exploded in popularity on a global scale before eventually replacing the cell phones of the 2000s. And the latest model runs PhoneDroid OS 4.2 and offers multiple applications such as video calling, an internet browser, TV, games, microblogging apps, and a camera. There are over 3 billion users worldwide, so basically Android phones. Cool. All right, this is our high school. Only 278 students. Wow. All right. AI is pretty self-explanatory. Iruo, a high-resolution global street view application. The application database is updated in real time via live images and videos uploaded directly from each user's Pokecom camera viewfinder. As well as this, users can apply geotags to the surrounding area to be shared with other users, also in real time. The application is equipped with a variety of functions such as motion tracking, augmented reality, image recognition, and location-based services. The augmented reality technology is compatible with 3D images, allowing the user to place various annotations on not just the background, but on 3D objects as well. Currently, it comes pre-installed on nearly 80% of all Pokecoms sold, and is said to host more than 200 million active users worldwide. It was developed in 2010 by the Japanese company Happiness for You Co. I don't know how I feel about that company name. App is pretty self-explanatory. Gunvarel, short for Mobile Battler Gunvarel, a 3-part anime series that aired from 2012 to 2015. The show features a total of 155 episodes, that's pretty impressive, which were then released across 39 volumes on Blu-ray. Truly the biggest scam, by the way, is anime with Blu-rays. Why do they cut them up so goddamn much? As of 2019, it remains as the last mecha anime produced in Japan. The program took a unique approach to marketing, broadcasting in 110 countries before releasing in Japan. Yeah, it's a little weird. A little weird there, causing a boom to occur in those countries far before it did in Japan. 4 years have passed since the show's conclusion, but it is still praised around the world as a god-tier anime. Many fans claim that no anime will ever surpass it, which is why no mecha anime has been made since its completion. Like most mecha anime, it was created to target the preteen to teenage male demographic with various toys and other merchandise being produced alongside the series. However, with its rich stories steeped in Egyptian mythology and its impressive CGI battles, which, I don't know, CGI is hit or miss, it became popular enough to receive a theatrical release. Alright. The story is about Dodo Genki, a 14-year-old boy who pilots a martial arts robot known as K-Trooper. A global-scale epic unfolds around him, spanning the past, present, and future. The Season 1 theme song was sung by a gothic punk band known as Phantasm. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. They got together again. Cool. Which had a fairly large cult following at the time. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna mention this here, and I'll probably mention it again, just so everybody's on the same page. I'm not gonna like jump into like deep-ass spoilers, but if there are references to Chaos Head, and especially Steins Gate, actually probably more especially Chaos Head since I'm just coming off of that, I will probably be like, hey, yo, look. But I probably won't get into like huge spoilers. Maybe. I guess it sort of depends on what comes around. All right, what else do we need to look at here? AR, augmented reality. Gyrosensor actuator, a component of a machine that causes the machine to move or work. In a robot, the actuator is the driving force. Electric motors, internal combustion engines, hydraulics, or other similar devices are all actuators. And I don't know how to pronounce that. Ojari Mos means welcome in the Tanegashima dialect. Well, I hope to never have to say that aloud because goddamn. Okay, there we go. I think we're up to speed on tips, I think. Okay, so it is the golden days, or in its golden days, it had nearly 20 members, and even won Robo 1 8 years ago, which is a hobby robot tournament held in Tokyo. That was then, but now the club is on thin ice, if that wasn't obvious from our club room, and our total of 2 members.
いや、でもほら、俺ってロボットとかあんまり興味ないし。
知ってる。俺だけうちが会に洗脳作戦を続けてるのに全く効果なしだもんな。
You know what? I appreciate her honesty, truly. When Akiho says brainwash, she just means her efforts to get me to watch all kinds of mecha anime. I hope. If anything, her doing it non-stop since elementary school has had the opposite effect. I don't want to touch the stuff.
アキちゃんの熱意は立派だけど、空回りしてることにはそろそろ気づくべきだと思うよ。
してるかな？
してるね。新入部員が2年連続でゼロなのはアキちゃんが空回りした結果なわけだし。
ああ、そっか。
Until a few years ago, it was a fairly prestigious club, but its rep is so incredibly low now that people just call it worthless and move on. Which is ironic considering the world is going through a robot boom. Up until last year, the tech prep room in the main building was our home. It had issues such as getting no sunlight at all, but it was way better than this.
でも聞いてカイ、あの人がかつてこう言ってた。
Akiho quickly puts on her red frame glasses. By the way, the glasses are just for so she carries them all the time?
まだだ、まだ終わらんよって。
That person she's referring to is a character from a super famous mecha anime. He doesn't actually exist.
無駄に前向きだね。アキちゃんらしいよ。
Okay, by the way, another thing to note here, if there actually are references to any mecha anime, I am not getting them at all. And you guys don't have to tell me about them. You can if you want to, but it isn't going to do me any good because I just don't know of any mecha anime. I am watching like... I guess I've watched a few, but I wouldn't call them like actual like Gundam anime or anything like that, or like true like pure mecha stuff. Just some of the more like, I wouldn't even call it niche, but just more of the modern stuff like SS Gridman and stuff like that has come out recently, but I wouldn't really count that as really anything significant.
そう？だったらカイも見習っていいよ。ちなみに勝手に猫耳生やさないでくれないかな。
Okay. I mean, the technology is cool, but this is very weird.
にゃーにゃー。
もう怒るよ。そんなアプリは削除。
Don't know why she's ordering me around, but fine. I was getting kinda tired of the thing anyway. Plus it was free. I'll live. I turned cat ear mode off and delete it from my Pokecom. Thank you. I leave the club room behind me and sit down on in the shade of a nearby tree. This is my special after-school spot. It's way more comfortable than the club room as long as it's not raining. It's part of my daily routine to sit here and game. Now that the... God damn it. How do you pronounce this? Do you actually pronounce the I, or do you go with an E sound? Iruo update is finished. It's about time I get started. Feel free to yell at me, honestly, if I'm saying things incorrectly, but we have a new tip here. Kill Ballad. I whip out my Pokecom and boot up Kill Ballad from among the apps. I'm assuming it's a game of some sort. Mobile Battler, Gunravel, Kill Ballad Online, or just Kill Ballad, KB for short. It is an online first-person mecha fighting game released in August of 2017 for the PhoneDroid OS. Planning and development was done by I don't even know about that one, but it's a independent manufacturer.
キルバラ起動。
Okay.
リーダーボードはどうなってるかな。
The first thing I always do after starting up Kill Ballad is check the leaderboards.
やれやれ。
As usual, I can't help but sigh. For the record, my account is Umisho. In other words, I'm ranked 5th in the world right now. Apparently, Kill Ballad has about 20 million active users worldwide, so being number 5 is pretty amazing if I do say so myself. The top hasn't changed for about half a year. I've got my sights set on the top, so it sucks that I can't seem to manage to topple those 4. As you can see, Kill Ballad is a fighting game based on Gunravel. Actually, I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's Gunvarel. I'm mixing up my R's and my V's here. So, yep, go ahead and yell at me. It's okay, it's okay. It's part of the worldwide robot boom I mentioned earlier. Plus, it's based on a legendary mecha anime, a huge hit that's worshipped as a godly masterpiece around the world to this very day. The game was released on the Pokecom, a platform everyone owns. It's an indie game, but its combat is crazy deep. These qualities helped Kill Ballad become a huge success that's been downloaded 50 million times worldwide. That's KB. Honestly, because of Akiho, I have no interest in Gunvarel. Yeah, it's Gunvarel, not Gunravel. I was mixing up 2 letters there. Again, may yell. I'm just addicted to Kill Ballad as a game. There are even lots of students who play it at my school, and yet nobody even bats an eye at our little club. Pretty sad. I mean, I'm sure it's like that with like a lot of like different things in schools. Something that could be so cool, like to a lot of people, they just have no interest in joining the actual club. I recognize the handle name of the player I'm matched against. That's the name of the indie developer, no? This is the creator of Kill Ballad. They're a genius programmer shrouded in complete mystery. All anybody knows is that they created Kill Ballad. This is my first time getting matched with them. That said, I had heard rumors that the game's creator was playing online, so I guess they were true.
作者と対戦できるなんて光栄じゃないの。
I'm starting to get hyped. I correct my sitting posture and focus. Show me your moves. KB doesn't use a stick for command inputs. Instead, it opts to use a combo system that involves timed button presses in quick succession. Interesting. All right. And, you know, of course, PlayStation controller, the true button layout. Essentially, as long as there's no misinputs, and as long as you land the first hit, the rest of the combo will connect. And that said, the timing for certain combos can be pretty tight, so you need a good eye. And it's not like your opponent is just going to sit around and let you land a hit. Once you enter the top 10 worldwide, battles mostly become about reading your opponent's moves. Getting countered and subsequently stomped before you can even react is the norm. Reading your opponent and countering counters is key. In fighting games, it's all about choices made down to a single frame. You have to read your opponent's moves and make the right choice on how to act. And that's what determines who wins and loses. Of course, that's not everything. You have to consider the character matchup, the difference in stats, lag, as well as several other factors, but mastery down to a single frame, that's the height of a skill or of skill for a fighting game player. I say that, but it's probably physically impossible to distinguish individual frames by eye. Either way, you have to be watching your opponent at all times. Casual advances, retreats, and even crouching are all parts of the puzzle. You have to be able to read into that. The second you take your eyes off the opponent, they'll strike at that very opening. You can never let your guard down. It's also important to be able to make out a player's habits, Being able to see patterns faster changes your accuracy. By the way, I'm not trying to brag, but my reaction speed is pretty damn good. I think I average about 4 frames when reacting by sight, and when I'm on the offensive, I can squeeze out 4 moves within 8 frames. That's about my average. When I'm in the zone, I can deduce the winning option within those 8 frames. Theoretically, I've got 4 options available to me, 2 of which are textbook. One is about getting a super hard read on the opponent to create an opening. The other utilizes an extremely difficult combo, my flashiest one, to confuse them. I pick one of my 4 patterns depending on the situation. My flashiest combo looks cool but has no real practical use. But a top player's gotta show off sometimes, right? Feels good too. Regardless, as long as I have 8 frames, I can crush any technique that comes my way. If I see it coming, that is. Like I explained earlier, a real fight is about reads. That means stuff doesn't always go according to plan. Anyway, let's get this party started.
いやーどうもお目にかかれて光栄です。どうかお手柔らかに。もしもーし。ボイチャはやらない人か。
I was gonna say, is there voice chat here? Ooh, this is some...
へえ、結構普通の攻めをするんだ。
This is something.
教科書通りだけど面白みはないかな。
I don't know, it's really weird to see all this in a visual novel.
対処法も考えやすいってね。作者だからこその弊害ってやつかもね。失礼。
Oh. Wait, do I actually have to press these? Oh my god, I actually do. Alright, that's interesting. They gave me a lot of time for that. Good thing I've got a keyboard, am I right? That's the true button layout.
はい、ご苦労さんと。さすが作者だけあって癖をよく理解してるよ。でもまあ、だからこそ攻め方がオーソドックスすぎかな。読みやすかったっていうか、同じ期待ってのも俺に有利に働いたかもね。お？ボイチャじゃ無視したのにメッセージ送ってくるなんてどういうつもりかな。
I should open it. Sorry for the sudden message, lol. I sent you a message because I never use voice chat. I hate to say this, but people suspect you might be using cheats, Umishoshi. A little birdie told me your reaction time seems physically impossible. Or at least that's what the person who reported you said. If you have anything to say about the authenticity of this claim, tell me.
なんだこれ。俺がチート使ってるって、そんなのあるわけないでしょうが。とんだ言いがかりだね、まったく。
As a fighting game player, being suspected of cheating is the ultimate blow to my pride. Get the hell out of here. I do not cheat. I log off without replying to the message. Who made up such a stupid lie and reported me for cheating? I'm really pissed off now. If Fro Kojiro is the creator, they can just check my account and settle this that way. They wouldn't find a thing.
っていうか、チートなら俺より上位の連中の方がよっぽど怪しいけどね。
I'm not being jealous, I swear. After fighting them countless times, I've got a feel for how they move and play. That's why I'm so confident in my assertion, I can tell whether someone's cheating or not after only 3 matches. Whoops, this is turning into a bit of a rant. I need to stop while I'm ahead. I look up from the screen, stretch, and put away my Pokecom. I don't have much to do, so I stare out at the scenery. The leaves rustle above my head. There are no students on the courtyard lawn or in the informatics classroom nearby. As for the sports club, they've gone to practice at the Nakatane Central Athletic Park, which is about 20 minutes away from here. All I can hear are the cries of crows and other small birds, as well as the gentle sound of plants rustling in the cool breeze. The school is quiet after hours. It's almost as though the flow of time has stopped, or that this place has been left behind by time itself. Maybe it's not just the school, maybe the entire island has been left behind.
ちょっと少女趣味すぎっか。
何のこと？
Yeah, honestly. Wait, we got another tip before we go too far. Oh, we got a few things here. I mean, I already know what frame voice chat cheats are all. I know all about all of them, but a Delude map? It's a map application for the PhoneDroid OS. It is able to sync with GPS and Aruo. Then we have Twipo. The name of a microblogging application. It's Twitter. Okay. Good to know. Akiho exits the club room and walks over to me. I guess she heard me talking to myself.
この場所は時間から取り残されてるんじゃないかって、アンニュイな気分に浸ったりしてたんだよ。
おー、哲学的。
Don't look at me with such respect.
別の言い方すると、俺はこれからどうしようって思っただけだったりするんだけど。
これからどうするかなんて決まりきってるよ。
Akiho points her finger up at the sky.
なんとしても部費を手に入れる。そして今年中にガンツク1を完成させるの。
In April, Akiho made an important declaration, her words not mine, as president. Of course, I was the only one who heard it. The plan is to complete Gun Barrel Prototype Model 1 Gun Build 1 within the year before we graduate. And so she demanded a tenfold increase to our budget out of nowhere. The VP flipped out and banished us here.
いや、じゃなくて、俺が言ってるのはさ、もう高3でしょ？あと1年もしないうちに卒業だよ。その後どうなるのかなってこと。
There are no colleges here. If you want to go to one, you're forced to leave the island. As for work, going off island is the only choice. I've lived here my whole life. I've left for vacations and whatnot, but I've never lived off island. It's not that I have a particular desire to leave the island. It's more of a vague sense of anxiety about being forced to leave.
考えたことないな。
もう6月なのに？
うちは今あの子に夢中だから。
今っていうか、もうずっとでしょ？
I mean, in a way, you should just focus on your youth. Don't think too far ahead. Well, at least in your younger years. Akiho truly loves robots.
でもそれにうつつを抜かしてて、浪人だなんてことになったら目も当てられないよ。何しろ、ロボットを完成させた後も、俺たちの長い人生は続くわけだからね。
Completing the robot doesn't mean we all live happily ever after roll credits. We've got normal lives to live.
まあなるようになるって。なんでそんなナイル話題持ち出すかな。
なえるのは確かだね。
もっと希望的観測のもとに突き進むべきだと思うよ。なんだったら走りますか？
どこへ？
夕日に向かって。
自分が走りたいだけでしょ。しかもまだ夕日なんて出てないし。
気分だよ、気分。
アキちゃんってたまに根性論唱えるよね。
じゃなくて諦めなければ願いはきっと叶うんだって。
人はそれを根性論と言うんだよ、アキちゃん。キャラ性能のせいで始まる前に勝敗が決まっちゃってることもあるって覚えとくといい。
It's a fighting game thing. So it's entirely true that I've done no prep when it comes to anything beyond high school. I blame it on the illusion that time has stopped on the island. It just makes you forget about the future entirely. You end up thinking that things will just go on like this forever. And I don't mean that in the sense that I hope these perfect days will never end or whatever. When time stops, so too does your ability to think. And yet, even when you realize this is the case, it's still a pain in the ass to try and think about what comes next. In the end, as long as I can keep gaming, I don't care what happens. Damn, gamers rise up, am I right? That's how I continue putting everything off. Akiho stretches out as though she's putting a period on the conversation.
でさ、これから整備のためにハンガー行こうと思ってるんだけどな。
There's a hangar? The Robotics Club has its own hangar. The dream that Akiho and the Robotics Club have been working on is stored there.
頑張ってよ部長さん。
カイも一緒に来てよ。
だったら分かってるでしょ。
またやるの？
当然。いつも言ってるよね。俺を従わせたいなら勝負に勝ってもらわないと。
I quickly whip out my Pokecom and take position.
キルバラ一本勝負。やる？
Akiho replies unenthusiastically and takes out her Pokecom in resignation.
うちが勝ったら本当に言うこと聞いてもらうからね。
勝てたらね。0-10ではないだろうけど。
0-10 are her odds of winning. There's a 0% chance that Akiho wins and a 100% chance that I walk away the victor. I chuckle to myself and boot up Kill Ballad. Right back to it, huh? Imagine we're banned. Just straight up. Akipo?
少しは腕上がったか見せてもらうよ。
手加減なしだからね。これで負けたら400連敗。それだけは。
Homie, take a hint.
数字適当すぎだよ。多分それよりずっと俺が勝ってる。
Okay, what buttons do I gotta press this time?
アキちゃん、落ち着いてやった方がいいよ。
Oh, cool. Just 2 buttons this time. I don't even have like a time limit this time around. You just do it to win, and that's it. Cool.
はい、俺の勝ち。アキちゃん、相変わらず弱いね。
こんにゃろ。
あ、ちょっ。
Akiho suddenly starts ruffling my hair with both of her hands. She's always been like this. Whenever she gets too frustrated, she messes up my hair. What did my hair ever do to her?
もっと容赦してくれないんだから。
いや、手加減なしって言ったのそっちでしょ。
Plus, my fighting game philosophy is to always go all out no matter who I'm facing. I watch with a wry smile as Akiho stands up and storms off into the distance. Cool. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what sort of direction this is all going to go into. I mean, I guess the final goal from what we've seen in the very beginning is that, well, the the Robotics Club will be in a much better shape. But other than that, I'm like, where do we go from here? What's the big draw here in this title other than, ooh, robots? Unless that really is it. And if it is, it's, whatever. But I'm sure there's got to be something else to it. I just don't know what. I guess it's just something that we have to keep on reading to find out here. Whenever I come here, I can feel my spirits being lifted pretty much immediately. It makes me want to run around like a little puppy, to be honest. A heroic piece of music starts playing in my mind. If I'm not careful, then I'll start humming it aloud. The old Tanegashima Airport. It's about a 10-minute walk from school. It was closed down and abandoned 13 years ago, so nobody visits it now, It hasn't been maintained for years, so the asphalt is cracked, and the weeds have moved in like they own the joint. While spacious, there's not much here, which means no electricity either. Since the area is flat, the wind is super strong, so I'm forced to hold my skirt down. Still, it's the perfect environment for the Robotics Club's hangar. Ordinary high school students would never be able to acquire such a wide, flat piece of land like this, especially one no one ever visits. The airport apron in front of my eyes is about the size of the sports grounds, and an even longer runway continues past it. From end to end, it's about 1,600 meters long. It takes around 30 minutes to walk the whole way. It's also several times wider than a standard road. Well, yeah, it has to be. I can't get enough of this feeling of spaciousness and freedom. It's one you just can't get on an ordinary road. Right now, Kai's lying down outstretched in the middle of the runway, Pokecom in hand.
またゲームしてる。
After I lost to him pretty badly in our Kill Ballad match, Kai decided to slack off like no man has ever slacked off before. But you know what? He still came with me instead of going home, so I can't be too mad. He's just shy is all. I'm very curious to how much character jumping we're going to be doing in this. This is very early. I put those thoughts aside and take a key out of my skirt pocket. The Robotics Club hangar is at the edge of the airport apron. It was originally a parking garage for vehicles used to fuel fire trucks and aircrafts to refuel them. You might ask, why are we using an abandoned airport's parking garage as a hangar? Patience. The reason is inside the building.
ハッチ開け。
I say that to myself as I raise the shutters and step inside. It's so dusty in here, it makes me cough. With no windows to be found, it's fairly dark. Enshrined in the center of the dark space is the crystallization of the Robotics Club's sweat and tears. The life-size gun barrel prototype Model 1. Nickname Gun Build 1. When the Robotics Club, was first founded 8 years ago, this was its greatest goal, its dream. A project to build the giant robot of justice, Gun Barrel at life size. Also known as the Gun Build Project. He's still incomplete, so the upper and lower parts are kept apart, but he'll stand over 10 meters tall when completed. The final goal is to have someone ride inside and pilot it. The club has been chipping away at this for 8 years. Though, to be perfectly honest, he hasn't moved even once yet. One of the reasons it's taken so long is because high school clubs don't get much in the way of funding, or probably time. This seems like a really, really big endeavor. Even then, I have a lot of respect for our founder having the foresight to build a giant robot before the robot boom even started. I say that, but the founding member and creator of the Gun Build 1 blueprints is none other than my older sister. She's got serious negotiating skills. When she founded the Robotics Club, she also managed to acquire special permission to use this old airport. She even negotiated with the small workshops around the island so that she could get their scraps for free. Heck, she even convinced JAXA themselves to donate the parts they didn't need anymore. It's thanks to her that the Robotics Club is still using the old airport hangar and working on Gun Build 1 to this day. All around the world, huge companies are funding giant robot development. They obviously have deeper pockets than us. Compared to their robots, Gun Build 1 must be a shabby, janky, underpowered piece of junk. But I refuse to stop working on him. There's no way I can stop halfway through. But I want to complete him. This is the dream I inherited from the original members of the Robotics Club. My sister's dream. Speaking of Big Sis, she currently works at a company in Tokyo. She doesn't live on the island anymore. The current, and maybe even last, president of the Robotics Club is none other than me, her little sister. There's gotta be some sort of meaning to all this. Maybe this is fate. It has to be.
秋は何をやっても平凡止まりなのよ。
Without thinking, I squeeze my chest tightly. The inside of my chest feels tight. I feel like throwing up. I shake my head and slap my cheeks with my hands.
弾幕薄いよ。何やってんの？
I clench both my fists and psych myself up. I pull a can of oil from the shelf in the corner and pour it into an oiler. Even though Gun Build 1 has never actually moved on his own, I still can't slack on maintenance. In fact, without exception, I bet past club members would all say that our main activity is maintenance, not building. You can't build something without parts, and we rarely get any of those. That's why there's been such little progress on that end, so in light of that, we kill time doing maintenance. Since Kai and I are the only remaining members of the Robotics Club, it falls on me to do all of the maintenance myself. Once a month, I spend about an hour chipping away at the task alone. While working, I'm free from unnecessary thoughts. I just want to finish this darn machine as soon as possible. Even impatient stuff like that is blown away, so I honestly don't mind this kind of work.
じゃあやりますか。
With oiler in hand, I crawl onto one of the shins of the lower portion of Gun Build 1. It's about 1.2 meters high, From that height, I can see Kai lying down on the runway.
手伝え。これは警告ではない。抵抗すれば撃つ。
I hold the oiler like a gun and aim it at Kai.
必殺頑張るアンクストライカーズドドギャー
I thrust out my fist. Of course, the runway is several hundred meters away, so there's no way Kai's gonna react.
虚しい。
I undo my pose. I crawl onto the knee of Gun Build 1 and pour oil through the joint onto the cam of the servo motor?
この場所は時
Servometer?
間から取り残されてるんじゃないかってアンニュイな気分に浸ったりしてね。
I recall what Kai said earlier.
取り残されてるか。
I never thought I'd hear words like that from Kai, the guy who usually just games without a worry in the world. But quite frankly, I don't really get complicated stuff like that, and it's not like I have the time to stop and think. This oversized child of mine, I need to complete Gun Build 1, no matter what. If I don't finish him by graduation, there'll be no Robotics Club members left to inherit the task of finishing him. That's why I need to complete Gun Build 1 with my own two hands, using the 6 months I have left. That's how much time we've got left, goddamn.
これが若さか。
Damn, I thought we were like freshmen or something. Nope, not at all. Wow. I mutter the words of a certain someone in red whom I admire and continue pouring oil. I don't know, just somewhere in my mind I thought, oh yeah, we got plenty of time here, right? Maybe? And now here's all these tips that we just got because I guess we weren't Kaito. So let us see what stands out. Let's go with this. The Gunval Ankh Striker is a special move used in the anime Mobile Battler Gunvarel by protagonist Dodo Genki while he is piloting Gunvarel. The Ankh is a unique cross-shaped illustration that was used in ancient Egypt. It is a rocket punch type move with flames coming together to perform the Ankh shape around the fist. It is mainly used as a flashy finishing move in Season 1. Now, is it servomotor or servometer? But well, whatever. It is a motor mainly used in machine tools, industrial robots, models, remote-controlled machines, etc. They are capable of continuously checking their own operation status in response to commands received from the servo drive, which acts as the control device. And using this information, the motor can automatically adjust for errors. Servo is derived from the Latin word for slave. Lovely. Gun Build Project. The Let's Build a Life-Size Gunvarel Project, or Gun Build Project for short. The ultimate goal of, and the reason why, the Chuo Tanegashima, High Robotics Club exists, and the project was created by Senomiya Misaki, who was a second-year student at the time. Here's the airport. Hangar. I raise my eyes from my Pokecom and see that the sky has darkened. Yes, slightly. Nice little view. I slowly rise up. I was too engrossed and didn't notice how much time had passed. My head's kind of hazy. I guess my mind is still on the game. Those subtle screen shakes and that pseudo-heaviness when you punch in an input are what I'm all about. Since I had been lying on the hard ground, my back hurts. I wonder if Akiho is still doing maintenance. I peek into the hangar, but I don't see any sign of her. Something tells me she's here, though. Something around the bottom portion of the robot right below the knee. There she be. Akiho, armed with a penlight, had crawled under the tight space beneath the robot and is doing some sort of work.
メンテ中。
こら、そこから覗き込まないでよ。
パンツ見えちゃうから。
見たら怒るからね。
A crouching heavy kick. She's full of openings, so I could guard, counter, and then combo her for a quarter of her HP.
アキちゃんさ、いつも言ってるけど、制服のままで作業するのやめた方がいいと思うよ。
Akiho stores an old t-shirt and shorts in the club room that she could use for messy jobs, but she barely uses them.
だって部室に忘れちゃったんだもん。
She went to the trouble of having work clothes ready, yet she always forgets them in the club room.
更衣室もないし。
Oh, well, yeah, that is also true.
どうせうち以外にここで作業する人なんていないし。
Akiho keeps moving her hands as she makes excuses for herself. Is that a subtle jab at the fact that I don't help? Yeah, maybe. Slightly.
別にいいよ。なんか勲章っぽいじゃない。
ふん。やっぱりアキちゃんってずれてるな。そういうこと言う女子高生ってなかなかいないよ。
よっと。
Looks like she's finished. Akiho comes crawling out. She brushes off her dirty uniform with her hands.
チェック終わりっと。
お疲れ。
She tucks away her penlight. She was probably just checking to make sure everything is still in order.
んで、うちの何がずれてるって？
油汚れを勲章だとのたまう女子高生はさ、そうそういないよ。
のたまうって引っかかる言い方だな。自覚はあるけどね。
自分を異質だって認められるのはすごいね。
カイは自分を異質だと認めてないの？
俺はゲームの腕は変態的だけど、それ以外は至って凡人のつもりなんだけど。
ゲームしか興味ないカイは十分変人でしょ。
Despite the self-deprecation, Akiho's eyes are twinkling as she grasps my hand. The perfect picture of a friendship between two dudes. Her hand is sticky with oil, but she doesn't seem to care in the slightest. Akiho then starts nodding like she agrees with herself. After washing our hands, we close the garage shutters and lock up. Since there are no streetlights near the abandoned airport, it turns pitch black at night, which is precisely why we need to leave before that happens.
そういえば。
As we walk, Akiho suddenly pulls out her Pokecom. The Fink plushie attached to it swings back and forth. Its color is darkened considerably, and it only takes a glance to see it's because of oil. Well, I don't know what that is. We know what a combo is. So the adorable mascot character from the anime Mobile Battler Gun Barrel, of course. Of course, it's based off of an Egyptian sphinx. Okay. That's enough information for me then. I keep telling her to replace it with a new one, but she seems to have no intention of doing so.
さっき色を見てたら改装中だったエブリデイが論争になってたよ。
本当に？
ほんと、見たらわかるよ。
Every day is a convenience store Every day is a convenience store near our houses. The only convenience store in Minamitane, actually. They started remodeling about half a year ago, so it's been closed. Did they just turn it into a new store? Let's take a look on my Pokecom. I bring up Duluud map. I said that earlier, didn't I? Sometimes I feel like there's a little bit of information overload. There's just so many things being thrown at me. I don't know what I know. I use the World Virtual View function in Iro to look at Minamitane, and sure enough, there's a Lonzo.
10% オフだって。
帰りに寄ってこうっと。
でも
Okay.
人が殺到してるかもよ。
レジ待ちがすごそう。エブリデイが最初できた時もそうだったもんね。あの時ってうちら小学生だったっけ？ 確か姉もねと同じ年。
Akiho abruptly stops talking. Yeah, wait, whoa. Huh? What the fuck? Anemone, huh? Now there's an unpleasant name I'd rather forget.
明日も教頭のところに交渉に行くつもり？
I intentionally changed the subject. Yeah, that seemed very abrupt. I'm very curious all of a sudden, whatever that was about. For the last 2 or so weeks, Akiho's been heading to the faculty room after school.
待ってるだけじゃ何も進まないから。
無駄に前向きだね。
I often say those words to Akiho. She's always like this, ridiculously optimistic.
それだけが取り柄だからね。
Every time Akiho returns those words to me, she smiles bashfully.
で、カイも一緒に来る？ねえ来る？
I guess we are.
明日は普通で部活には遅れていくから。
それは大変ですね。
Akiho laughs in amazement. Whenever we go to the hangar, we keep our scooters parked in the lot in front of the terminal. We live in Minamitane, which is on the southern part of the island. School is 15 kilometers away, so commuting by scooter is allowed. I leave the key in, nobody around here would steal it, and walking around with it would be a pain in the ass.
まっすぐ帰る？
アキちゃんはどうしてもコンビニに寄りたいんだね。
B コープでもいいよ。
要するに買い食いしたいと。もうすぐ晩飯の時間なのに。
わかったよ。まっすぐ帰る。
体調は大丈夫？
うん、平気。
This is like a ritual before we ride our scooters. I always ask how she feels. If she's not well, we rest. And if she still isn't feeling well after that, we leave the scooters here and go home some other way. She had been involved in a scooter accident once before. Luckily, she got out with minor injuries, but you never know when a fatal one might occur. I straddle my scooter, put on the ugly helmet required by the school, and step on the kick pedal, starting the engine. Akiho puts on the track jacket that she left on the scooter handle, slips on the same ugly helmet, and we're ready. Time to head home. It takes around 40 to 50 minutes to get from school to Akiho's house. By the time we arrive, the sun is long gone. By the way, my house is really close, not even a minute away by scooter. After parking the scooter in front of her house, Akiho takes off her helmet and waves to me.
じゃあね、カイ。ノッチよ。
ナッチよ。
This is our unique farewell. In the Tanegashima dialect, it roughly translates to, let's meet again. Misune originally started using it as a code word, so Akiho and I picked it up too. To be honest, it's not something that comes naturally. I have to intentionally use it. Only elderly people use that dialect these days. Akiho sees me off as I head home. I cast my gaze up at the night sky. You gotta love being able to see the stars with no city lights and all that. The northern region is steeped in red, almost like it's oozing blood. That's the aurora. It's not quite the same as the famous aurora everyone knows, the beautiful one that's kinda shaped like curtains. Apparently, an aurora takes on that shade of color at lower latitudes. The sun is abnormally active right now, so this has led to the world being able to see auroras since a few years ago. Back then, I mistook it for a wildfire or something in the distance. But now I'm totally used to seeing it, and I don't really feel one way or the other about it. That color in the sky is just another part of my everyday life. My ordinary, unchanging days. My life on this island repeating endlessly. It's hard to believe it'll all come to an end in 6 months. But for now, I'll just focus on getting home and eating dinner. Yeah, I was saying all this shit earlier about like, oh yeah, youth and whatever, like don't worry about anything, yeehaw, but no, if this is your senior year, yeah, never mind, forget my words, you gotta be thinking about other things. The sky is so blue, it's crystal clear. Day after day of cloudless skies, almost to the point of tedium. The weather is pretty important around these parts, especially because it tends to rain a lot this time of year. If it's just a light rain, I can wear a raincoat and commute to school by bike, but I'd rather it just be nice out. The wind striking my face has the scent of summer, or at least that's what it feels like. You know, greenery and stuff, yeah. Riding a scooter in the summer is way nicer than during the winter by a long shot. Although I bet that holds true around the world, not just on this island. Yeah, the colder the weather, and when you're on like an open vehicle like that, man, you feel it. Oh my god. Akiho is driving in front of me, her skirt flapping around in the wind. Every day I get nervous about her accidentally flashing everyone, but her guard is unexpectedly tight. We stop our scooters at the convenience store near the school. One might call me a regular here at the Irie General Store. I lightly wave to Akiho in response before entering the store. Alrighty. I don't know what to say about this person here. It's just, I'm still kind of getting thrown off by the fact that they use 3D models. The girl with the languid attitude sitting at the counter is... Okay, I probably said this wrong initially. You know what, I probably can't say it any other way. Sorry, I'm stupid. But Mizuka-chan, or san, excuse me. Mizuka-san. There we go. Not Chan, san. She's the daughter of the store's owner and works here on most weekdays. She's helping with the family business. She was Misane's classmate. In other words, I've known her since I was in elementary school. This older girl, who barely even uses makeup, has become somewhat of a minor celebrity among students at my high school. With her easygoing personality, she speaks openly and frankly with all the teenagers who drop by here to shop. She was left paralyzed from the waist down in a traffic accident back in college. She was? I guess that explains that thing that she has there on her waist. I wasn't really paying attention. But thanks to the fancy tech attached to her legs, her hug, she gets by. The hug is a power-assisted suit that quietly hit the medical care market in 2010, which was back before the robot boom started. Despite not being a robot, the hug rode the robot wave and became huge, with over 3 million units sold worldwide. Even on a rural island like this, you occasionally see people walking around with them in town. Hugs even get used for non-medical things. You'll see special features on TV like jogging with hugs is in and whatnot. I lightly nod my head at Mizuka-san.
どうも。今日も綺麗で。
Wow. Alright, what an interaction. She herself told me to compliment older girls, so I put her words into practice. Why'd she gotta be so mean? I grab the usual 2 bottles of fruit sour melon from the drink aisle and bring them to the register.
秋は
先に学校行ったよ。
あいつ、私をスルーするとはいい度胸だね。
高校生は毎日買い食いできるほど蓄えはないんだよ。
スコールは毎日飲んでるじゃないか。
ごもっとも。
次顔出したら2本買わせるから。で、カイ、今日はこれ、いいのかい？
Mizuka-san grins at me and points to the steamer next to the register. It's filled with meat buns, anko buns, and more.
それは用事があるときしか食べないんで。
好きで食ってたのかと思ったよ。
あんなゲロマズマンを冗談でしょ。
カイ、うちの店の商品にゲロマズとか言うな。な。
Yeah, that's a little disrespectful, my man.
ごめん。
I think he just got a little bit ahead of himself, probably. I try to laugh it off as I hand Mizuka-san the money for my drinks.
そうそう。ミッチーに言っといて。
She grimaces like she suddenly remembered something.
さっさとプロテイン取りに来いって。
ミッチーってこの店でプロテイン注文してんの？なんで自宅に直接送ってもらわないんだろう。
さあね。あいつ、今回は注文したくせに度忘れしてるらしくて、ちっとも取りに来ないんだ。
Under the counter, I see 4 protein bags with 5 kilograms written on them. The company probably shipped them by sea. Oh, Michi, oh my god, these names, is Naga Fukada Mitsuhiko's nickname. He's the PE teacher at school and our club advisor. Simple, right? Yeah, let's just go with the nickname forever.
それ俺に言うんじゃなくて。
Let's not use his full
ミ
name.
ッチーに直接言ってくれない？電話とかで。
私はポケコンなんか持ってない。知ってんでしょ？
It's weird for her to boast about the about that languidly. Goddamn. Mizuka-san is bad with machines, and I'm bad with words. she's always bragging about how the only things she can use are the register and her hug stuff.
じゃなくてさ、店の固定電話があるでしょうが。
めんどい。
I heard Michi was her classmate and friend, but maybe I'm misremembering.
だからかい、伝言よろしく。
As soon as she's done talking, she opens yesterday's newspaper and starts reading. I guess we're done? She's like a grumpy old man. What terrible customer service. God, she's so scary. I thought Misane was bad, but Mizuka-san is no slouch. Why are the women her age so terrifying? Careful what you say. Or maybe those two are just special. Ah, crap, I spent way too much time chatting with Mizuka-san. I need to hurry up or I'm gonna end up late. All right, so this is the school. Yeah, we actually get a look at it rather than the quote-unquote club room. I reach the school gate and turn off the engine. It's a school rule that once you hit the entrance, you gotta turn off your scooter's engine and push it from there. Very interesting, but okay.
Oh, おはよう。急げよ。
あ、ミッチだ。
Oh, yep, there he is. Perfect timing. Michi is at the gate, greeting students as they arrive.
おいおい、ヤシオ。いつも教えてるだろ。長深田先生。な、わかるよな。だからミッチって呼ぶな。
Sir Mr. Nagafukada Mitsuhiko IV Esquire is a graduate of this school and was also the first president of the Robotics Club. I started calling him Michi because Mizuka-san does, and the habit then spread to Akiho.
長深田先生、さっき水香さんの店に行ってきたんだけど、プロテインさっさと取りに来いってさ。
うわー、忘れてた。しかも今日金ないよ。どうするかな。
Michi enters panic mode and clings to me.
一つ教えてくれ。イレは怒ってたか？
怒ってたんじゃない。あとあんまひっつかないでくれる。暑苦しいから。
そうか。いいか、ヤシオ。お前にとっておきの情報を教えてやろう。イレを怒らせるとマジで怖い。以上だ。
うん、それは知ってる。
Michi is basically a delinquent teacher. Well, he'd better brace himself for the wrath of Mizuka-san. I sit down in my usual spot in the shade of the tree by the club room and gaze up at the sky. After school, Akiho went to get the club room key from the faculty room, but she hasn't returned yet. It's been a while. It'd be a pain to check the faculty room, and even more annoying if she got back while I was gone, so I'll just chill. The sunlight is getting stronger. This single tree in the courtyard is becoming more and more valuable to me. Time to game it up. I have nothing to do, so I open the web browser. I am wrong. I find the headline about a new hug model in the news column and casually tap on it. Maybe I should have turned up the movie volume a little bit. I guess that's my bad. I didn't know that we'd actually be having like regular like cutscenes and shit, but this is quite the different visual novel in a lot of ways. Oh shit. That's like a whole body thing. God damn. 5 meters. No way. Damn, where is this technology in reality, you know? But I also feel like this is just something waiting to backfire on people. Available for pre-order. How much did they go for? Oh, it's the Steam Deck effect.
ご了承ください。あなたを支える心でありたい。エグゾスケルトン社は皆様との出会いをお待ちしております。
Well, that's not as bad as I thought. I think. I thought that would have been like in the thousands of dollars. As expected, Misane is there. How long has it been since she started appearing on TV like this? Oh, that was her. Oh, okay. So I was too distracted by how quiet it was that I was basically forced to like really focus on the reading and make it not as awkward. I guess I'm focused on the reading regardless if it's loud or quiet, but after graduating 6 years ago, she went to college in Tokyo and now works at the flourishing exoskeleton company. She started doing PR work after her talents were recognized. She even makes appearances on TV as a Hug test pilot. Commercials, leading Hug demos, even working as an advisor for Hug Spark, which is a Hug martial arts tournament. Now let's check the tips. We've gotten quite a few again. A next-generation martial arts competition hosted by Exoskeleton Company, and the event is dedicated to athletes who wear Hugs designated for sports use. And, alright, cool, and in the United States. Let's go, USA. Newspapers. In the current year, 2019, the number of newspapers printed has fallen drastically due to the increased presence of digital publication, forcing many local publishers to go out of business. However, there are still those that fiercely defend and support the place of newspapers in modern society. And Protein, we know what Protein is. Exoskeleton Company. It is Exoskeleton Development Company Ltd. Began as a small company that invented and sold power-assisted suits known as Hugs that focus on medical care and rehabilitation. However, in the late 2010s, they began to focus their attention on the rapidly growing robot boom and quickly grew into a world-famous company as a result. Nowadays, they produce Hugs and other applications not just for nursing and welfare purposes, but for the military, public security, and other similar fields where Hug usage proves beneficial. In 2018, it was ranked the #1 company that Japanese college students wanted to work for. And we know what Aurora is, and okay, so this is what Hug stands for. Helpful Unlimited Gear. Gotcha. Misane is everywhere. Considering how active she is, it's no overstatement to say that she's crazy popular. Hell, people online refer to her as the pretty ex-co PR girl. She's more popular than your average pinup model. But all I want to do is scream out to the heavens. Don't be fooled, people. The Misane on TV isn't the real deal. Man, I can't even begin to count how many times Misane made me bawl back when I was in elementary school. Just thinking about it gives me chills. We have a call from Akiho. It's strange for her to call me while we're at school.
電話受信
I answer and Akiho's face appears on the screen.
あ、カイ
今どこさ
水かねえの店。
なんで
ねえ、それより宿題やった？英語の。やってないよね。
Why is she so sure of that? Not that she's wrong, but I shake my head, but for some reason Akiho smiles happily.
うちも。
宿題っていつまでだっけ
明日。
やっべ
だからさ、合宿しようよ。宿題合宿。
自力でやるつもり
ラッキーなことに時間はまだあるし、2人分の頭脳が揃ってるし、分担しよう。あの人もかつてこ
Oh
う言
no,
ってた。
not this again.
戦いとは常に2手3手先を読んで行うものだって
今のアキちゃんは一手先すら読めてないと思うよでもまあ2人で分担する作戦には賛成
そうこなくちゃ
She's completely forgotten about cornering the vice president. I guess we'll use our club time today to finish homework.
こうなるのを予想して水かねえのところにもう来てたりするんだ
へえ2手3手先を読んでるね
でしょ
I'll let her be happy with this victory.
腹が減っては戦はできぬだよなんかお菓子いるリクエストあるなら言って買ってくから
ゴチになります。
寝言は寝て言ってくれるかな。後でお題はもらうからね。
そりゃ残念。
会への差し入れなら私が選んであげるよ。
I hear Mizuka-san's voice on the other side.
なあ、アキちゃん。水香さんの言うことは聞かなくていいから、フルーツサワーメロン買ってきて。
なにさ、いつものじゃないのか。
Mizuka-san sure is persistent. Besides, if I have the usual, I won't be in any condition to study.
じゃあ買ってくね。部室じゃなくて教室で待ってて。
Yeah, hopefully we have AC there.
少しでも自力でやっとくかな。
Akiho didn't take long to get back. We studied our best until sunset, but couldn't finish in time. I guess I'll just do the rest at home. And we're just moving right along. Once again, Akiho charges off to the faculty room after class. It's stupidly hot outside, so I'm waiting in the classroom today looking at Twitter, or Twipo, whatever you want to call it, to kill time. Oh hey, Toyota announces their newly developed robot, Prince X. I wonder what Toyota is. Twitter is a social media platform with limited character count posts on the internet. But a few years later that all changes. Pokecoms have their own app for it. Each post is called a tweep, and they form a timeline on screen based on when they were posted. If you follow someone else's account, it'll display their tweeps in your timeline too. I almost said tweep line. I'm following around 100 people. If you follow a lot of people, your timeline basically gets flooded with constant updates. It's a real pain to try and keep up with it all like that, so you can split tweeps into multiple lists. List A is for Robotics Club members, so I guess you could say it's for friends. Yep, here's Akiho. Prince X is so cute, the design taste is good, that even though it's a giant robot, I think it's cute. Expected from the world-renowned Toyota. It would be amazing if we can put this electric engine in Gun Build 1. Maybe I can ask in a letter if they'll let me borrow it for free. Till last year, our club had more than 2 people in it. Given our current state, Akiho is the only one in List A. List B is made up of real-life acquaintances and people I know online. So this is the exoskeleton company deal, I believe. Today at 3 p.m. I will be appearing on the Fujisun TV show 3 o'clock Madam. Oh, this is Misaki. Okay, I see. I'm getting it. It includes my family, Akiho's family, Michi, and a few others. I have no friends around my age, and I don't follow many of my classmates. Thus, List B is mostly adults. List C is for others. That includes journalists in Tokyo and the official accounts for newspapers and news sites. If I look at List C, I can get a pretty good idea of what's going on in Tokyo. And I don't really use List D. Even with the list split, they refresh within hours. I keep telling myself to at least check Twipo once a day, or Twitter. Wait, so Twitter doesn't, oh, hey, look, switch between lists on Twipo, we can, this is actually interactable, cool. That I did not know. Yeah, I think on Twitter, you can't exactly set up feeds like this, but if you could, that would be really, really nice. But I don't think that's the case. I know you can make lists, but those are pretty public, aren't they? I'll have to look into that. As I scroll through my timeline, I see talk about a new giant robot developed by Toyota in Tokyo. I guess they revealed the thing around lunchtime today. Actually, Akiho mentioned seeing this in the news. Maybe I should reply. You can directly respond to other people's tweets via the reply function. That said, I don't use Twipo that much, so I really only reply to people in List A. You guessed it, that means Akiho's the only one I interact with. So we can actually reply here? I guess there we go. That should do it. So that go for broke mentality is amazing. You really don't know fear. I'm sure we can get like choices. Oh, hold on, other character. I'm pretty sure this is all very similar to Steins Gate. I'm sure this functionality kind of comes straight off of Steins Gate in the phone functionality, responding to people's emails and all that. Just a little bit more with like modern, I guess, apps and whatnot, therefore Twitter. Twitter was actually pretty big and still is pretty big, but definitely blew up in the middle of the 2010s. But it looks like we can actually like reply with different responses, and I'm sure that's sort of our choice mechanism in this game. One of my few classmates still around on cleaning duty talks to me.
私帰りのバス遅れそうなんだ。ヤシオって暇でしょ？悪いんだけどゴミ捨て代わってくれない？
やめとけって早川。ヤシはほら無駄だから。
でも暇そうじゃん。
It's not that I look like I have free time, I do have free time. But I'm currently stuck in this room. Who knows when Madam President is gonna get back? I decide to turn down her request in the only way I know.
変わってもいいよ。
本当？助かる。
Oh my god.
ただし、俺に頼み事をするならまず勝負に勝ってから言ってもらわないと。
I knew something was up.
俺に勝てたらゴミ捨てでも何でも変わるよ。
は？私急いでるんだけど。
だから無駄って言ったろ。いつものことじゃん。ヤシオに頼むのが間違ってんだよ。
もういいよ。何が勝負よ。バカじゃない。
Still muttering complaints, the two pick up the trash cans and exit the classroom. I'm alone now. Wait, if Hayakawa was seriously about to miss her bus, why couldn't Takahashi take out the trash alone? I considered shouting that at them, but that would be a bit much for me, so I decided against it. It's probably that she's not necessarily in a hurry, she just doesn't want to do it. I'm aware that people consider me an ass, but this is my policy. I have no intention of changing it. Man, the personalities in these games are very interesting. And Chaos Head and Chaos Child, the main characters, were pretty loserish, I would say. And Steins Gate, Okabe is Okabe. He's definitely not normal. Here we're going back to a high school student, and he's pretty normal-ish. He just doesn't really care to do much. He's just in his own world, it seems. So just when I'm finally about to enjoy a match of Kill Ballad, Akiho returns with the clubroom key in hand. The key is stored in the faculty room, so she has to go and pick it up every time we have club.
部室へ GO!
はいはい。
I stand up from my seat. We exit the classroom and walk together toward the clubroom.
教頭いた？
いなかった。思ったんだけど、教頭先生って最近学校来てないのかも。回も見てないよね。
I shrug my shoulders, indicating that I haven't.
ミッチーなら知ってるだろうから問い詰めてみよ
う。めげないね。すっぽんあきちゃんって呼んであげるよ。
何それかっこ悪い。何せよ、部費をもらえなきゃ何も始まらないんだよ。もう2ヶ月近く放置だし、このままずるずる。
Oh. The moment she sees a certain male student, Akiho winces. His name is Hiraka Subaru, and he's a second year. You could call him Akiho's arch nemesis. At the same time, you could say that he's the one person Akiho won't give up on trying to win over. I can already see the sparks flying violently between them. Despite feigning cheerfulness, it's pretty clear that she's pretty nervous around the younger boy.
ここで会ったが1年3ヶ月目というわけでさ、ロボ部に入って一緒に正義の巨大ロボを作ろうよ。
三流ロボ部に入るつもりなんてありません。
Wow. Wow, alright. Hiraka Subaru brutally interrupts Akiho.
もう20回以上そう答えたはずですが。
でもほら、ロボ部にとっては日高くんの技術力が必要なの。
関わり合いになりたくないんですよ、ロボ部とは。失礼します。
Without even a bow, Hiraka Subaru changes from his indoor shoes to his regular ones, and then leaves.
あいつ、絶対ロボ部に入れてやるんだから。
Akiho's face is bright red. She looks like she's about to start stamping her feet in frustration, or stamping her feet.
あんなに嫌われてるのに、アキちゃんもしつこいね。
また人事。
I haven't the slightest clue why, but Hideka Subaru is actively hostile towards the Robotics Club. He was the one student who came to watch our club last year, but it wasn't long before he started calling us stuff like third-rate and worthless. Well, I guess it only makes sense. In terms of technical skills, Subaru is on a completely different level. In junior high, he apparently entered a Robo 1 solo and won 3rd place. He never entered again after that. According to Michi's intel, he's even capable of repairing broken wristwatches. I understand why he looks down on us to an extent. If he ever joined the Robotics Club, he'd immediately be our ace. Heck, even though he's younger, he'd probably make a better club president than Akiho.
俺たちが三流っていうのは確かでしょ。
カイがそういうこと言わないでくれるかな。
事実は事実として受け入れないと。
分かってはいるけど、はいその通りですなんて言えるわけないってば。
All sorts of people make fun of our little club. It wasn't nearly this bad when Akiho and I joined up as new students. It's hard to say when it began, but I think it was after last year's new student club orientation. The seniors in the club weren't the public speaking types, so Akiho gave the speech instead. That's where she screwed up. Akiho made a showy intro video about Gunbarrel Prototype Model 1 and the club members maintaining it. The BGM for the video was the Gunbarrel theme song sung by Akiho herself. Yikes. I'm sure you can imagine how all of that went over. No, that just sounds cringe. Uh-oh. And so the only student who came to check our club out was Hideka Subaru. He must have come to pick a fight. This year, Akiho and I ended up alone. She did her best to learn from her prior failures and didn't show the robot. But mid-speech, Akiho had an attack and was sent to the infirmary. An attack? Since I don't care about robots, it was over. So it made total sense that we couldn't get any new recruits. Did she have like a panic attack? Like, what happened there? Plus, right after that, Akiho requested a 10-fold increase to our budget, causing the student council and the VP to snap. As a result, even the underclassmen got a bad impression of Akiho burned into their minds. And so, our club and the gun build project became the objects of ridicule. Students started referring to it as homegrown scrap. Sure, compared to the high-tech robots being made by huge companies worldwide, ours is both ugly and has super low specs. I've heard people say that if it still hasn't been completed after 8 years, it'll never get finished. They say it's a waste of club funds and that the budget would be better off given to other clubs. I can't argue with that. Hell, you could even argue that the Robotics Club had been given too much special treatment up until now. And all that was because of the groundwork that Misane put in as the founding member of the organization. Since we're clinging to the work that others did before us, I'm sure the school looks at us like we're parasites.
社会の縮図だね。
Alright, time to go ham on Kill Ballad today. I think that to myself as I set down my bag in the club room.
はあ、充電しよう。
Akiho says that to herself and starts fiddling with her own Pokecom. Anime appears on the screen.
疾風怒涛の元気一発頑張れるジャキーン
Okay. You go, girl. Jeez, is the climax right at the start or something? It only took her 5 seconds to recharge. I gotta hand it to her. It's impressive that she's recovered so quickly. She's even posing. Honestly, I will say this much. There are like some anime openings, like whenever I'm watching a show or binging one, that just like, they get me pumped up. They get me so excited where like, I look forward to watching the show, but even more so for watching that opening.
こんな狭いところで暴れるとまたポケコン壊すよ。
平気平気
Akiho is always like this with anime. The two of us can barely sit comfortably in here, yet she's flailing wildly. If only she'd just go outside. If only a lot of us could just go outside. Oh, and how in the heck does she get so excited over something she's seen countless times?
それなんてアニメ？
I asked that without thinking too deeply about it, and Akiho's expression morphs. She shoves the tablet screen in my face.
頑張れるだよ、頑張れる。
ああ、そう。
I probably could have made that same fucking guess, to be honest, with all the information we've been given so far. Now that I think about it, she was shouting its name earlier. I may not know much about mecha anime, but that was a dumb question even for me.
そうだったじゃないよ。いつもうちの家で見せてあげてるでしょ。
Akiho's getting about as heated up as I expected. She's clearly still annoyed from her earlier encounter with Subaru, so she's more charged up than usual. That being said, she doesn't show me gun barrel. It's more like she watches it and I happen to be in the room.
それに、カイがしょっちゅうポケコンでやってるゲームは。
Yeah, gun barrel, haha. Akiho points at the tablet hanging from my waist.
何のゲーム？
頑張れる。
うちの部が一生懸命作ってるあの実物大ロボは何のロボ？
頑張れる。
ここに置いてあるブルーレイは。
Akiho picks up the BD sitting on the desk and points at the picture on the jacket.
一体何のアニメでしょう？
頑張れる。
I think I get the point. I hope he also gets the point.
正解。
She drops the frown and returns to a smile. By the way, that's the only Blu-ray we own. Hell, the clubroom doesn't even have a Blu-ray player or a TV, so it's just useless.
カイ、そんなんじゃロボ部員失格だよ。
And yet here we are.
学ぶ姿勢っていうのがなってないんだよな。うん。
自分で言わないでくれるかな。
まあ、さらに正直に言うと興味ないからね。
それはとっくに知ってます。
Akiho shrugs her shoulders in exasperation, and for some reason pulls out the whiteboard in the corner.
まさか。
というわけで、興味のない回を今日こそ洗脳してあげよう。
Oh no. Seriously? She always goes on forever.
まずはじめに、頑張れるは神アニメである。
Here comes the hyperbole.
少なくとも21世紀に入ってからだと一番ヒットしたアニメ作品なのだ。ブルーレイの売上枚数は未だに世界一。
In this age of the Pokécom, everyone's switched to cloud storage when it comes to media. Nobody buys stuff on discs. I sometimes do. Of course, I don't dare voice any of this, as it would just make her talk longer.
やっぱりロボットアニメは最高だよね。日本人の男の子はみんなロボット大好き。
Aren't you a girl, Akiho?
昭和の時代にあの鉄腕少年がお茶の間に登場して以来、ロボットは友達で憧れでヒーローでかっこいいものだったの。
Ah, that one Astro kid. Boy, oh boy, I wonder what she's referring to.
いわばジャパニメーションの象徴。それがロボット。人型のロボットに対する価値観が違う海外じゃ絶対に描けないものなの。確かに逆に日本人にしか理解できないものって言われちゃってたりもしたけど、でもね、頑張れるは違う。頑張れるも日本のアニメスタジオが作ってるんだけど、まず海外から放映を開始したの。日本の放送開始はその半年後で、その頃には世界中で熱狂的な話題になってたんだな。これがその熱狂に引きずられたわけじゃないけど、日本でも当然のようにすごい視聴率を叩き出してブーム到来ってやつですよ。しかもね、終わり方もただの終わり方じゃなくて伝説級なんだよ。
I swear I've heard this a billion times.
3年間続いたテレビシリーズの最終回はなんとまさかの放映中止。そりゃあもう世界中でファンが暴動一歩寸前まで行ったぐらい大騒ぎになったんだから。その最終回はブルーレイにも収録されてないし、関係者も誰も話したりしないしで一切が謎に包まれてるわけ。あれからもう4年くらい経つけど、未だに最終回はどんな内容かを予想してる人がたくさんいる。それだけじゃなくて最終話のマット動画がネットには大量に溢れてる。 ファンの中には放送しないことこそが頑張れるの最終話に込められたメッセージなんだとかメタ的な分析してる人もいるぐらいなんだよ。うちはこの最終回スタッフの壮大な挑戦状だと思ってるんだ。とにかく最終回が幻のまま放映されなかったことで頑張れるは一気に神アニメに進化したことは間違いないよ。っていうか今の世界的なロボットブームは頑張れるがきっかけだっていう説もあるくらいなのさ。
She sure can talk. I just want to play Kill Ballad.
頑張れるは今でも世界中で愛されているアニメだし、これを超えることはできないでしょ。
そうそう。
Imagine like this right here was like copyright claimed or like there is a copyright behind this because it's like a real anime or some shit. That would suck.
頑張れるはさ、過去の
That would just suck, huh?
どこが優れてるかって聞かれるとってなっちゃうんだ。でもなんていうのかな、ロボットアニメの半世紀の歴史の集大成って感じなの。誤解を恐れずに言えば歴代の名作ロボットアニメのいいとこ取りかな。ストーリーだって古き良き王道ヒーローものだし、でもその王道をとことんまで突き詰めてるおかげでね、とっても分かりやすいの。出てくるキャラもみんないい子ばっかりで感情移入できる。だからこそ熱くなれるし感動もできるわけなのさ。どう？今ものすごく見たくなってきたでしょ。1話から全話マラソンしたくてたまらないでしょ、ね、
No. Akiho's eyes sparkle as she attempts to innocently appeal to me. She's like a little boy talking about his hero. Heck, even I'm starting to get a little excited. Just kidding.
それでも俺は興味ないけどね。
もうひねくれ者。
っていうかロボットアニメについてそこまで熱く語る女子高生なんてアキちゃんくらいだよ。
また洗脳失敗か。もういい、続き見る。
Akiho sulks and goes back to appreciating Gun Barrel. Yeah, you go and do that. Oh, what's going on here? We're at the park? The metal tower stands high above ground, quietly, yet accurately, transmitting its noise into space. It's as though it's absorbing the sound from its surroundings, converting it into the noise it emits. The chirps of cicadas and crickets, the flaps of bird wings, even the sounds of leaping insects. No matter how carefully one listens, such sounds do not exist here. The 30-meter radius surrounding the tower resembles a geyser spewing into the depths of hell, where death flows freely through the air. The grating noise is akin to a scream echoing out from the underworld.
実証実験経過
In this space filled with the silence of death, a young girl whispers.
ナンバー2887をお伝えします。
Her bare feet produce no sounds with each step she takes. The girl looks up at the sky and whispers to nobody.
日本標準時西暦2019年6月12日18時9分現在。
She holds a single pure white feather in her hand.
状況には変化ありません。
She whispers mechanically, with no sign of emotion. She shows no sign of minding the noise.
以上、実証実験経過ナンバー2887をお伝えしました。
Just then the wind blows. It's strong enough to cause the plants to sway. However, neither the girl's hair nor the edges of her soft clothes budge an inch. Only the feather in the girl's hand floats gently into the air. The pure white feather melts into the dust-colored sky. While her gaze follows the feather's path, the girl, expressionless until then, narrows her eyes in a seemingly pained manner. She quietly speaks into the wind.
その目、誰の目？
No way! No way! Let's go. I'm on board. Let's do it. I'm on board. Y'all don't have to tell me twice. Let's fucking go. Also, yes, I just outed myself. This is not a complete, 2-hour recording session. I divided it up. I wanted the first episode to be long. And so, I think like 50 minutes in. Yesterday I recorded, and then I did like a little bit of an hour here today. Have a nice long episode to start this off. Okay, I was wondering when something was really going to pique my interest, and I guess that's the something. Like, there's been some interesting bits so far, and we're just trying to like build everything up, and that hit. Wow, we got some Chaos Head references here. Cool. I don't know what I'm supposed to gather from that necessarily, but we are in the same world as Steins Gate, as Chaos Head, and I have no idea when the fuck Chaos Child actually takes place, as I said earlier, but I'll look into that. And I know that some crazy like sci-fi shit has to come up at some point. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? So I'm sure something will come up. The nice peaceful days that he was talking about, they're about to go away. I'm fairly certain. So that'll do it for episode 1 here of the Robotics Notes Elite playthrough. And of course, I'm on board for it. I mean, there's no question about it. I've recorded a lot of other science adventure stuff so far, so I mean, just gotta grind through this one. But yeah, definitely no idea what to expect still. Very interesting. It's very weird, a little uncanny, I guess is the proper term now that I think about it, with the 3D character use. But nonetheless, I'm still interested. And in a way, there's like a little bit of a charm. I mean, seeing, what's her name? Akiho? Is that her name? I'm trying to think of it, not seeing it now. Seeing her kind of move around and have like expressions, more than just like facial and like some body movements, but like there's movement to it, and movement has a pretty strong way of I guess showing off how somebody is feeling or what their response is, more than just like a change in their expression and their body pose. There's a little bit more when there's actual movement, I feel. So it really does add like another layer to that. I don't know why they decided, all right, we're going to use 3D models for this one, but alas, they did. I'm not complaining. It's just a little uncanny, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Yeah, I guess we'll just wrap it up here. I do want to say thanks again to Overcodex for buying this game for me. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you again to Mari, my friend, for doing the little character there in the thumbnail for this playthrough. And thank you to all of you for joining in for this playthrough. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this first episode, be sure to leave a like, subscribe so you're ready to go for more, and comment if I made some mistakes or missed something here in this first episode. I definitely rely on the comments, not for like backseat gaming purposes, but like definitely love seeing what you guys got to say in the comments, and in a way, it does help me out. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.